Yeah. Okay, so welcome to, I guess it's Tuesday morning. Keep losing track of things. Tuesday morning yoga flow. And this is a class where we move through some sequencing. It's a physical practice, but it's not intended to be a workout, even though definitely things will be challenged and strengthened, and that'll be both on the body and the mind side. And we'll just try to be embodied mind rather than just being so much mind or identifying with what's going on above the neck. And so that'll mean in postures to not be so worried about what it looks like or alignment, even though that's obviously the alignment I'll continue to cue, but to just be open to the energy that's moving through in each posture, because there's a lot going on. And I like to use nature often as for the lessons that it provides, especially right now when we're in between the seasons and there's the push and a little bit of impatience to get on with things, get to spring and all that good stuff coming. But then there's also still, there's the, at least for me, I'm having some pushback or draw into still wanting to be in hibernation, in protection, a little bit of fear about things changing and the uncertainty. So to find the balance between those two, however that might resonate for you in your practice today. So we're going to start with, I've got, and you might use blocks, but they're a little bit high and harsh. If you have, for our opening pose, I just like to use a towel or a folded up blanket that'll be pretty flat. So it's not going to be a big boost, but it's going to come right underneath the shoulder blades. Hi, Candace. So it's going to be about here, and it could be widthwise or it could be lengthwise. It's hard. My shoulders are tight. I had a big wipeout yesterday out here for a run, but everything's okay. So probably best how to configure that so it feels nice underneath the upper back, and it's not going to be in the lower back at all. So higher is better. I'm also having a lift for the head so that my head doesn't feel like it's falling back. So there's a nice open pathway for the breath. So if you have a scarf or a belt or a sock, we might use that too. I'm just putting that over to the right side of my mat for now. We don't need it right now. I do have a bell that I will give a gong to start the class, and that's an invitation to just switch gears and to be here with whatever is here for you at this moment. So you can make your way into that posture, and the legs can be long, or the knees can be bent, and if you have more props or pillows that you like to put underneath your thighs, just go for it. So you can totally embellish and co-create this practice. If you do have lower back ouch at all, then having the knees bent, feet wide, and the knees into touch can just help to widen that area. Make sure, just start the setup with good manners towards this body, the structure that does hold and embody all of the systems that are operating without us needing to direct anything, including all of the activity of the mind that may be loud and noisy and future oriented, or ruminating about things that have already fallen behind us, that are in the past. To allow all of that to be flowing through with all the other sensations, just as events in the experience. of this moment as you feel the body parts. So acknowledging what is here in terms of any sensations that you might be feeling in this pose. Can take some time to feel connected with the ground and just come to settle there. So in a moment, you'll hear the sound of the first bell. If your eyes are open, you can see what's in front of you. Take in the field of vision, one of the senses. And then go ahead and let the eyelids drape. Take in the body in its entirety. Here, nothing to do, nowhere to go. Start to shift the awareness to what else might be here as you tune into the field of hearing. Maybe some of those robin calls or whatever. Notice that breath is present in whatever way that is presenting, the lungs filling and emptying. So you might be a sense of expansion and uplift as the oxygen travels in through the nose. And a deflating, releasing, grounding sensation as the exhale, the carbon dioxide leaves. Feeling the movement or even the sound that comes with each full breath cycle. And there's no particular breath exercise or pattern or rhythm that needs to be followed here. We're just aware that breath is happening. Body, breath, sound, these three anchors tend to be the ones that are more on the settling. And can help to anchor the mind into the body. There might be an emotional tone as well that will also shift and change as we make our way in and out of postures this morning, so that nothing has to stay stuck or accumulate in any chronic way. If you have a practice of Ujjayi breath and you'd like to engage in that now, then the breath gets a little longer, deeper. You can pause at the top of the inhale and rest at the bottom of the exhale. You might take some clearing breaths to have the mouth, lips parted on the exhalations. In a moment, you'll hear the sound of the bell again, which will move us into the more active part of the practice. And just let your attention rest on the reverberation, just for as long as that is of interest. If you're comfortable on these props, you can stay. Otherwise, you can roll to one side and move all of that out of the way. But if you'd like to take a big stretch, Reach the arms beyond the back of your mat, and they don't have to be close together. You can have a wide V and reach the legs away as well. If you're keeping something underneath your upper back, then you'll feel definitely some breeze underneath the lower back. Just reach, reach, reach everything out. If you can hook your thumbs together or bring the arms a little closer together and either face the palms in towards each other, or if you're hooking the thumbs, try to pull the thumbs apart and bring the legs a little bit closer, and just take a few breaths here and hug down through the center line. Feeling the ribs knitting in and the belly dropping, even though the low back won't touch the ground. Let's take a couple more breaths there and change the cross of the thumbs up. Plugging the shoulders and the thigh bones into the torso, the upper arm bones. Breathing in and breathing out. Slide the hands behind the back of the skull. If you have something underneath your head, take that out of the way. Start to let the elbows widen a little bit, so you're supporting the head, and your knees could be bent or your legs can stay straight. As you come up into a little curl into that upper, the hips, then open up, lift the chest and let your elbows come back towards the floor. Press the backs of the arms to the floor. Chin towards the chest, elbows stay wide, and we're lifting the heart a little towards the ceiling, and then open up as you come back down, roll down just as slowly as you come up. Press the back of the arms to the floor. On an exhale, shrink the ribs and lift the heart. And then on the inhale, open up across the collarbones, press the backs of the arms. The head might come down, or the backs of the hands, but it can stay floating a little bit if that's too far. And exhale. Let's do 3 more curls to wake up the transverse muscle that wraps around just above the hips. And 1 more, and stay a little longer. Take an extra full breath cycle at the top here. And then roll it back down. If you still have something underneath your upper back, roll to one side. So you can take that out of the way. Might use that if it's a blanket or towel for the knees in a few moments. Bring the knees in towards the chest and curl into a tight little ball. Chin towards the chest. Maybe bring the head up here and hold the shins or underneath the thighs, and just be in that shape right now, and all that is happening in that seed, that bud, all the potential. And maybe some discomfort just staying in this seed when it wants to come out and push through the cracks. But keep breathing here, kind of squeezing and crunching everything into the middle. I can hardly talk. 1 more breath. And exhale to lower the head, the feet. And stretch the right leg up towards the ceiling. You can hold the back of your thigh with your hands, or you can use a strap or sock, and then hug that knee in towards the chest and squeeze it in. Reach that heel up, inhale, and exhale, squeeze it in. Reach it up 1 more time. And then just windshield wiper the ankle. So it's a little different movement. It's small. Just moving that side to side. Your left knee can stay bent, or you can straighten that leg out. A few circles with the ankle now on that right side. And you can have a bend in your right knee for sure. Lengthen out and long through the right sits bone. Point and flex the toes. And then tuck the chin towards the chest. Find a bit of that core again as the chest starts to lift. You can use your hands or strap against that thigh and resist the thigh into the hands to maybe lift you up a little higher, and float the left heel if that leg is long. And we'll take a couple breath cycles here, softening the shoulders and the face and really pressing out through both feet. 1 more inhale. And exhale to come back down and hug the right knee towards the chest again. Squeeze. Stretch the whole body out. Lengthen on an inhale. And exhale. Let's bring the left knee in. So you might want to bend the right knee to start with. Plant the right foot so you can get into just this hip flexor on the left side and feeling level across the lower back. Connecting with ground. And then stretch the heel up, inhale, left side, and exhale, hug that thigh back down. Inhale, so we're stimulating the digestive organs as well as lengthening hamstring, and hug the thigh on the exhale. Reach that leg up again and just stay with that. It can be a bend at the knee, windshield wiper, really small movement. Might feel some difficulty with cooperation of the foot doing what the brain is asking. And then slow circles, feeling into all the tendons and the ligaments. And I know I took that wipe out yesterday, so some gratitude for this part of the body that is pretty good at holding us up, giving it some love here. Point the toes and then flex the heel. Couple times. We're going to keep that leg out, just relax, leg lifting up, relax the heel, and maybe straighten out the right leg. Tuck the chin towards the chest now and use the strength of the leg to press into the hands or your strap or sock, and also press out and float through the right heel, dropping the shoulders and softening around the jaw, any expression on the face for another inhale. Exhale to lower and hug that thigh in, squeeze, and then stretch the left leg to meet the right leg and take the full body stretch out. Breathing in, and let's do one more thing here. So fetal bend, coming in towards a bridge shape, and cross the right ankle cross the right ankle over the left. And with that right ankle crossed over the left, press the thighs away. Just your left foot is on the floor. Keep the knee bent. Do a few pelvic tilts here. So send the tailbone towards the ground, breathing in, and then exhale, let the low back drop in. Keep pressing the thighs away, rolling the right hip open as you rock forward on the inhale, and then exhale. You can just follow my breath cues if you wish. Nothing mandatory. Inhaling one direction and exhaling the other direction. And then find a neutral place there. Let your hands come down beside your hips. Press into the left foot and just lift the hips up a little bit. Keep reaching the right knee away from center. Hugging the inner hips towards each other. So pull the drawstring tight and pull back a little bit through the left heel. Not going up too high, so you can still feel some weight in the lower part of the shoulder blades for one more breath in. And exhale there. Keep more or less a neutral pelvis now, so just a little bit of breeze under the low back for the last few breaths. Or draw the left thigh towards the chest to thread the needle, but try again to continue to let the tailbone be heavy towards the floor. So we're not escaping from the sensations in that outer right hip, but we're not feeling anything in the knee on that side. If we drop the low back down and peel the tailbone up, then that is just going to maybe take the stretch away a bit. And then release that leg towards the floor. Uncross the right leg, give it a shake towards the ceiling, and bring the right foot back down. And then let's do the other side. So left ankle cross above the right knee. You can rock across the back of your hips and find center. Rolling open the left thigh. Familiar pose, but entering it with some manners and just checking out to see what's here today. Start to let the low back heavy, so pelvic tilt. And then inhale, take the tailbone towards the floor. Really small movement. Keep pressing the thighs away as you exhale, rocking just this pelvis, setting the tailbone down and then letting the tailbone peel up, but not lifting the hips yet. Inhaling one direction and exhale the other. And then come back to more or less neutral, a little bit of breeze. Press the palms towards the floor by the hips. Press the right foot to lift the hips just a little bit. Pull back through the right heel, reach away through the left knee. Drawing the inner hips a little closer together, just internally, feeling that contraction for one more breath. And then exhale, lower there. A few more breaths there, or draw the right knee towards the chest, but keep the tailbone heavy or reaching towards the bottom of your mat. The navel is drawing down, but the low back isn't pressing to the floor. Breathing in. Exhale, let it go. Uncross and take the left leg to the air and give it a shake. Both knees in towards the chest for a squeeze, and you can roll to one side or rock forward and back a few times to come up. And once you're sitting, just take it into a long diamond shape. Use the fingertips to lengthen the lower back a little bit. Soles of the feet are right together, and then drape the spine forward, crown of the head towards the feet. And now go ahead and feel some flexion in the lower back, and just let that lengthen out and soothe for 2 more breath cycles. Breathing in and let it go. The upper body just floating with some wave-like movement and still grounded through the sits bones. Let's lift up on the inhale and lean back. So you can just cross the legs and come forward to hands and knees. You can place something underneath your knees if you would like some padding. And from hands and knees, a tabletop shape. Moving through a few hip swishes, just like a whale tail going from side to side. And pressing the inner palm, the hands a little forward of the shoulders. So you can take up a little deeper circle movement. You can play with the configuration of the hands as you're just letting your head go here too. So the fingers can turn in, and there can be some forward and back movement. And then the fingers can turn out a little bit. It's getting into different areas of the wrist, but press right out to the fingertips. And we'll come back to hands where the fingers are just facing forward in a more neutral shape. Take the knees a little bit further back. Now squeeze the shoulder blades together. So it's not quite it's a longer table, not quite a plank distance, but lift the belly up and in and find a cat in that shape. Press away from the palms. Squeeze the shoulder blades together again. So we're working a little more in the upper back, and then exhale, peel the belly. One more time, squeeze the shoulders. Exhale up and back, and come all the way back to this extended child's pose. Just come up on the fingertips, so give your back of the arms some length and wrap the upper arm bones underneath, and breathe here for 3, 2, and 1. Look to the hands, plant the palms there, and shift now to what feels like a plank pose. So strong underside of the body. And just come down a couple of inches, exhale and press up. Inhale, exhale back to child's pose. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. So narrow the elbows, more like a shelf, and then press it up. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale to lower a bit and narrow elbows. Inhale, press up, and exhale, child's pose. Shifting forward this time, and exhale to lower all the way. And stretch the legs back and long, lengthen out of the pelvis as you come into a baby cobra. Let's take 3 breaths there. Your fingertips in line with your shoulders and your elbows hugging in. Or you can take the hands right off the mat and go for more of a gecko with the elbows lifted. Lengthening the spine out of the pelvic girdle. Kneecaps are lifting, the legs are really strong here. Just feeling some work underneath the shoulder blades without needing to come up too high for one more breath. Exhale to lower, slide the hands back. Press it up and back and curl the toes under now and come into a downward facing dog. Pressing away from the palms, bending the knees to find the length of the spine. Taking the feet comfortably wide apart and just bobbing the head a few times. Just bend the right knee a lot so the left leg can straighten out. Your right heel is really lifted. Your left heel has a bit more weight towards the floor. Pressing away from the left palm and then switch so left knee bends and right heel drops. Keeping the shoulders level and extra press through the right inner palm. And then come through center again. Bending the knees. And taking the right leg up and back for 3-legged dog to level the hips out. Dropping the outer right hip a little bit so the leg doesn't have to reach too high, and you can have a bend in your left knee. Bring the right knee towards the nose and lift the heel of that right foot really high. And then look just ahead of your hands to step the right foot up into a low lunge. Breathing in the low lunge. And then exhale, tap the back knee down. Walk the back knee a little bit closer so the legs are more or less right angles and press away from that front thigh. Scoop the belly in. Feel some flexion in the lower back, even though there's nothing much to see, so that you feel also a deep stretch in the left front hip flexor psoas. Just looking down the tip of the nose for another breath there. And then look forward and reach both arms up. And take the hands to opposite elbows if that's available, or you can take a cactus shape. Wiggle the front foot a little further forward so that you can settle to breathe in. And then come back a little bit, find that action of flexion in the lumbar spine, and then inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together, come a little more forward. Exhale, come back once more and inhale, crescent lunge. Now reach the arms up. You can gaze forward or you can gaze up as well and move the arms back a little more. And then exhale, bring the hands down there. Pick up the back knee. Let's lean into the hands now and step back to plank pose. I'm going to tap the knees down. Exhale, lower all the way. Stretch the legs back. Draw the shoulders down the back and come into the cobra or again into the gecko for 3, 2. Tailbone long, exhale, lower. Slide the hands back and press up and back. Curl the toes under, downward facing dog. Inhabiting this shape. Embodied mind settling into the posture, just the energy that's moving through. We'll take the left leg up and back. Square the hips. You can bend the right knee deeply to find that a little more, or I find that a little more easeful. And then bend the left knee towards the nose and shift the shoulders over the wrists, heel to the bum and look forward down, really lifting the hips nice and high so you have some space to step or help that left leg forward. Stretch it out nice and long to start with before placing that right knee down. Long arrow from the tailbone to the crown of the head. And then tap the right knee down and take a breath in this low lunge. Inhale. Exhale. Start to bring the hands to the front thigh and Hug that heel back a little closer so the legs are at right angles. Look down the front line of your body. You might see your right knee and try to find some cat, some flexion as you press out through the left thigh. Lots going on in the right quad. And then just keep that, but look forward now. Reach both arms up, breathing in. Take the elbows in the opposite manner, the opposite grip, or come back to the cactus. We'll come in a little bit further. So I'm walking my left foot up a little bit to sink, breathing in. And exhale, drawing back. Just a small movement. Inhale a little closer to that crescent lunge, and then exhale, coming back. This time as you come forward to reach the arms up, send the gaze towards the ceiling. And exhale, bring the hands back to the floor. Pick up the back knee, leaning into the hands, or you can use fists to step to plank pose. Shift forward, tap the knees, and exhale, lower in one piece. Moving into a back bend cobra, gecko, any other back bend that you like. Could be a sphinx pose with the elbows underneath the shoulders. And then we'll exhale to lower and press palms to the low ribs to move back through table. Coming into downward facing dog. Downward facing dog or child's pose, extended child's pose. Just a pit stop to plug in again, feet, hands, embodied energy. No matter what it looks like in the shape, settling back to something earthy and anchored. Let's come high on the tiptoes from downward dog and walk up towards the front of the mat. Lengthen, inhale, and exhale, fold. You press into the feet, come all the way up, breathe in. Exhale, bring the hands through the center line and release and pause in Samastiti, equal standing. We'll do a couple of Surya Namaskar A. So let's reach the arms, breathing in, moving energy to fold on an exhale. Press the feet, come up halfway, hands to shins or thighs, blocks if you are using. Bend the knees, fold belly, and palms or fists right underneath the shoulders. Step the left leg back, and then the right leg back. Shifting forward to tap the knees, exhale. All the way to the floor. Choosing your back bend. Any variation to inhale and exhale to lengthen forward. Slide the hands back, squeeze the elbows, lift the belly and through table to a resting pose for 3 more breaths. You can close the eyes, taking in the field of vision that is just color or shapes. If that helps to inhabit this body, this moment right now, whatever is here. On the next inhale, high on the heels. On empty, a little more space to travel up towards the front and breathe in, halfway lengthen. Exhale to fold. And press into the feet and come all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, trace the center line to pause. And so this next one, just on your own with breath, moving, and if you miss a part of it, doesn't matter. Not important what the shapes look like or what we really are doing here, just being, moving breath, embodied mind. We'll meet in a resting pose for 3 breaths. 1, 2, and 3. Let's take the right leg up and back. And knee towards the nose again. Heel lifts, looking ahead of the hands. So step that foot up. Coming into low lunge for a breath in. And then exhale, tap the back knee down. Let's reach the arms up this time, breathing in. And bring the right hand just to the right thigh. Roll the outer right hip crease down as you take a side stretch. Exhale. And back to center, breathing in. And then the left hand comes down. A little forward, a little wide. Turn the fingers out. Pick up the back knee and start to look out over the right shoulder. Reaching the right arm back. So the back knee could actually be up or down. Right arm reaches back and then right arm reaches up and over towards the left corner of the mat. Inhale to open it up and exhale, right arm to the left corner of the mat. Inhale and exhale. And then bring the right palm down on the left side, closer to the left palm, and start to walk the hands over towards the left and fold over the legs. So standing in a wide, parallel feet. Walk the hands a little forward to breathe in. And exhale here to fold over the legs. If you have the strap or sock handy nearby, we're going to use it in a moment. You might grab it, bring it in. Wiggle the feet in a little bit closer, so maybe just a little further than hips distance apart, and take it into a forward fold. You can catch opposite elbows there and bend the knees a little bit. Slowly start to roll up, restacking all of the vertebrae. As you come to stand, take the strap, sock, or if you don't have, just make do. We're going to reach the arms up and take a side stretch over to the right. Pressing through the feet and then exhale over to the left. Inhale through center, bend the knees, take a little twist over towards the right and come down on that side. And do a big sweep through center over to the left, twisting over on the left and then up again, breathing in and exhale over to the right. Let's do through center again and exhale to the left. And then this time bend the knees as you go to the left, down through center, up and over to the right. And then exhale to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, squeeze the elbows. Just bring that strap behind the back of the head, or take the cactus shape. Let's turn the toes out and come into a squat. And then reach and stretch up. Inhale, squeeze the bum cheeks a little bit. And exhale, elbows wide. Knees hugging back, so glutes are engaging. Reach it up. Inhale. And exhale there. Let's reach it up again. Bring the strap down. Exhale, parallel the feet and bring the strap behind yourself now, or you can clasp your hands together. You can have the fingers facing in with the strap, or they can face out. Whichever way you do, just remember it, so we'll do it differently the second pass through. Let's fold over the legs now and let the arms reach away from the back. You can bend the left knee quite a bit and let the right leg straighten out. Lifting the inner right thigh and then bend the right knee a lot. Let the left leg straighten out. Come through center, breathing in. Exhale, release the strap, bring your hands in front again. Give yourself a bit of a lift of the chest and parallel or turn the right toes back to face the front of your mat as you take it back into low lunge for one breath here. Bring the back knee down and start to straighten out the front leg. Draw the toes towards the face for 3 breaths, drawing the Right heel back in space for 2. And 1, shift back through low lunge, back knee lifts, inhale. And press palms and step back, downward facing dog. Take a break, take a child's pose, inhabit this shape, or move the energy again through a vinyasa to plank, to lower, to a back bend. From downward dog, we'll meet again, and we'll take this time the left leg up and back. Lengthen out, reach, 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 bend the right knee. And then shift the weight forward, bring the left knee towards the nose, heel lifts high. Step the left foot up. Just take 1 breath in that low lunge. Take your right hand, fingers out a little bit, off to the side. The back knee could be down or not. Start to wrap the right ribs under, draw the left hip crease back with your thumb, and then reach the left arm back. So a few waves here, bringing the left fingers towards the right corner of your mat. Find some flexion, some lift in the belly. Spread the fingers and reach back, open the heart. Exhale, reach to the top right corner of the mat. Pull the belly in. 1 more time, opening up on this side. And then exhale, if the back knee was down, have it lifted up, bring the left palm to meet the right and walk the hands through center again. Crawl out with your hands. And exhale, just let it go there for a moment. So if you've got the strap or sock, we'll wiggle the feet closer together again. Hips distance or a little bit wider. Take opposite elbows the opposite way. So a different grip. Exhale, release, empty the belly, bend the knees a little bit to roll it up again. Let's take that strap again and reach it up, inhale. And just take a wide enough grip that you can bring the arms back any amount. And then bring it up, inhale. Exhale, move the arms back. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, take it back. Maybe widen the arms so you can get in a little deeper. And take the arch out of the lower back. Cat in the lower back, cow in the upper back. Right here in the middle. Feeling the lift as well as the grounding. Reach up, breathing in and exhale. Lower that strap and take it behind the back. So if you had your fingers facing back, then switch it. Take the toes out and start to drop into a squat. Squeeze the bum cheeks a little bit and then exhale into that squat. Squeeze knees away from each other. Let's do that a couple more times. If you want a bit more interest, you could lift your heels and go for some balance here. Good for the ankles. Trying to keep the heels lifted as long as you can. Good. Last time, coming down and pausing there. And then straighten the legs, parallel the feet again and fold. Exhale. You can take the feet a little wider apart for this one. Wiggle them apart. Keep the feet parallel and bend the left knee a lot. And then switch it up, right knee bends. Inhale, center. Release the strap and lift the chest, fingertips to floor. And then pivot the left toes to face the front of your mat and take a breath in that low lunge again, breathing in. Press it back, downward facing dog. And one more vinyasa or stillness for 3 breaths. Good, so we're going to move into a pigeon pose, so some options here. If you like the traditional from downward dog, can enter with the big toes together. the right leg reaching up and back, and then opening up that hip. And then bringing the right knee towards the right wrist. In this case, the back leg is going to lengthen out and it's going to be straight. And you might take your pillow underneath your sits bones coming in from the right side so that you have some height. Something that right sits bone can touch down on for sure. A few waves of the spine here. And if that's not going to be the pose for your knee, then you can try having both knees bent with the right shin parallel with the front of the mat and with the left hand pressing in the bottom of the right foot and the right palm off your mat pressing away from the right palm. So that'll help the torso square itself up over this front shin. And you can still do a few waves. You can bob a little over to one side more and then the other. If neither of those is the thing, then it's the figure 4 on the back again. So don't hesitate if you're feeling any pain in the knee, just to come back to where we started. There's always lots there for us in the hips. Some days this pose is peaceful and relaxing. And others, there's a craving to get on to something else. All okay, just allowing. And so if you're lying on your back, just stay there. If you're in one of the other pigeon shapes, you can either come back through downward dog, rolling over to the right side and bringing the hands in to curl the back toes under and do that. Or you can just shift onto your seat and give your legs a windshield wiper. From downward dog, if you're there, the big toes together and the left leg will reach up. And then the hip will open up there. The knee can bend now and take the knee towards the left wrist with the shin on a diagonal. Heel coming down towards the right front hip. And so use a support underneath that left hip if it's lifted. Or just come over and sit on your left hip and parallel your front shin with the short end of your mat. And so your back knee can be close to your front heel, or you can have the wider position. Good manners and just resisting the tendency to abandon or push. Stay with something that feels therapeutic. Press away from the left palm and into the bottom of the right foot if you're doing this version. Waving the spine a few times. So now coming right into the resting pigeon. And then go ahead and just lower for the last couple of breath cycles. Let's just shift over to the left hip if you're, whichever position that you're in, and bring the legs forward. Lean back and give the legs a shake. Flap the feet. See the flesh going. And if you feel better with a little bit of height, that'll often help with low back compression. So we can take just a forward fold here. We did the one earlier with the legs in a diamond shape. You could do that again, or try with the legs just coming out, fingertips behind the back. Inclining the heart upwards and rooting down through the sits bones. If there is some flexion, if it's a natural nature process here to come forward, then you can do that. I like to clasp my hands underneath my thighs and find that length, thighs pressing against the belly, really nice for the low back and the kidney area to just fill and empty. Lifting up through the crown of the head to up, right your spine. Leaning back with the knees quite wide and dropping the right knee, pressing the right shin. And back through center, left shin drops, pressing the left shin. Let's do one more each side, over towards the left. And over towards the right, on this right side, and you could move your legs closer together, that back knee could come up again. Start to walk around with your hands, so you're looking out over your right shoulder, and this will be our twist variation for this morning for 3 breaths on this side. See if we can allow the breath to enter that right side of the lungs. You could be down on your forearms if that's better for your wrists as well, or just your right forearm, minimizing any effort. Walk it back through the middle and take your knees over towards the left. I'll usually move my right knee up to the left heel so I can have more movement in the spine, and then walk it around. Use your right hand to press away from the left thigh, looking over the left shoulder. Staying here or coming to rest on the left elbow, so the left elbow comes back behind the left hip. And then inhale through to return to facing forward. Drumming out the legs. So for our final pose, of course, rest and digest in Shavasana is an option. Or if you'd like to take a seated posture to close, your choice. Doesn't matter, just to be comfortable. And it's the shape of the spine and the intention to be non-effort here. So no intention to try to do anything or stop anything from happening, any thought patterns. We're just not feeding them. Just letting the energy of our practice settle back into that more hibernation, conserving mode. And you'll hear the bell to bring us in, and again to bring us out for a couple minutes. Can we just feel and be with what's here right now? Practicing noticing thoughts, breath, the body posture. Feeling an emotional tone. Could be helpful to have a few simple statements. Something like, as you breathe in, this is, and as you breathe out, home. Only if that resonates with you. Mind wanders. That's okay, we just start over. It's the practice. In a moment, you'll hear the sound of the bell. If you wish to continue longer to rest or be in meditation, please do. Either way, just hearing the vibration or feeling the vibration of the sound. Circulating the jaw from side to side, the tongue around all corners of the mouth. Maybe a yawn, a deep breath in, and then exhale to sigh. Ready for whatever's next, and grounded into the practice of being able to start over and come back. Pausing for a moment to acknowledge the presence and support of each other, this community, the Boulevard Club yogis from all our different spots. Thank you so much for being here. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thanks, guys. Ladies, no guys.